This episode of the Culture Soup podcast is brought to you by the 30-Minute Mentor. And boy, do we have news for you concerning the Culture Soup podcast. We're expanding to an additional episode. It will air beginning in May on every second Tuesday of the month, and it will be called The Coaching Corner. I will come on the air and speak to any pain points that you may have as an entrepreneur or corporate manager. I also know that many of you out there are both. We'll talk through any of the pain points that you may be facing, and sometimes I'll bring on guests to celebrate. I'd love to give away a 30-minute mentor consult for free. What I need you to do is text the number 4747 with the code Culture Soup. Again, text Culture Soup to 4747 for your chance at a free 30-minute mentor consult with yours truly. Again, new episode expanding every second Tuesday beginning in May for small business owners, corporate managers, and executives, and even if you do both. Find out more about the Coaching Corner episode on theculturesoup.com and the 30minutementor.com. If you're interested in executive or business coaching, you can also go to the 30minutementor.com. See you online. Hey y'all, this is Culture Soup, where tech, culture, and business collide. It's a podcast that spoons up everything hot from social media. I'm your host, L. Michelle Smith, and each episode we bring you some of the most notable and not yet notable thought leaders in tech, business, and culture. It was the summer of 2018. It was a busy summer. I started off with 3 engagements in 3 separate cities, ending with a photo shoot in DFW. It would be the first time on my speaking circuit that I would discover that I really needed help with things that I did myself. My hair, my makeup. What was I going to wear? Finally, one of my friends told me, you know what? It's time, girl. You need a stylist. I said, okay. Well, as long as I'm doing that, I probably need to get my makeup done. A speaking engagement in Dallas to a national stage with the National Association of Black Journalists Convention and Career Fair during their opening plenary session. It's a live 90-minute show in front of veteran journalists. And I'd be alongside Lindsay Davis from Nightline. I had to look good. Then I would leave there and go directly to LA, Hollywood. Yeah, to a premiere. The Simmons family, Rev Run and Justine, were having their premiere party for All About the Washingtons. And it's not something you just show up to and whatever. Then I had to be back in Dallas in time for a photo shoot that would lead out on all my content for my website and beyond. I needed help, and I needed help fast. So I turned to the internet, turned to Instagram, where I noticed that makeup artists were thriving. Some of them started out from nothing, and now they're celebrity makeup artists. And I had a background with some beauty brands, so I put out some feelers. As it would turn out, I secured a stylist in Dallas who could help me with all 3 appointments, no matter where I was. I had to get 3 different makeup artists, 1 in Dallas, 1 in Detroit, 1 in LA. Yeah. And I had to make sure that my hair was good to go because I probably couldn't afford to get someone to do my hair in all 3 cities too. So When it came to LA, it had to be really, really right. So I reached out to my former client and friend, Tania Golston from Revlon. And in short order, I had a great makeup artist in Detroit, stumbled upon Melissa Butler, who is the founder of the Lip Bar. Melissa had contacts with makeup artists in Detroit, and she connected me with Lauren Means. Suddenly, I was meeting the who's who of makeup artists. And then, in LA, Melissa Hibbert. Tania told me if she did my face, it would be phenomenal. Now, I trust Tania. Tania and I go all the way back to a time where we relaunched the brand Cream of Nature. So she had to be right. I'd been on many, many shoots with Tania, and she's very particular about the way her models look. So I reached out to Melissa, and she was first class, even by text message. When I got to LA, she met me at the Beverly Hilton. She came to my room, and I have to tell you, not only did I look fabulous, but I was glowing from the conversation that she and I had. We found out that we had a lot in common. She's a former marketing executive from some big names you've probably heard before. But she followed her passion, and her passion has led her to doing the faces of some amazing celebrities, and then people like me. I want you to meet Melissa. She has a story to tell, and she has a new book. Ladies and gentlemen, Melissa Hibbert, beauty entrepreneur. How are you doing, Melissa?
Hi, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. You're looking wonderful. I love your hair. That natural hair is just slamming, girl.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you. You know, we go back a little ways. We're new friends. I met you in 2018. It was last year. In the summertime, I was on my way to a premiere party in LA for All About the Washingtons. And I was referred to you, I believe, by Tania Golston from Cream of Nature in Revlon.
Yes.
And she told me if anybody could beat my face and get me ready for this event, it'd be Melissa. And you responded. And I had no idea. I just going on a friend's recommendation. I did not know the body of work that you've done. Not just with makeup, but with your business and building it. And I was just amazed because we had a conversation just over the face beating that just moved me.
We had a really good conversation. And those are the things that I love about what I do. It's like, it's not just about the highlighting and contouring, honey. We're connecting on deeper levels.
Yes, it was real. It was so real and so moved by your story. But before we get into the story, I want to have a culture soup moment with you. You ready?
Okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay, good. So, I looked at the threads. I have moved off of Facebook and onto Instagram. So I'm fairly new to Instagram, maybe a year at doing business on Instagram and really seeing how people are building their entrepreneurial chops on Instagram. And I have been absolutely positively floored and impressed by the makeup artists that have blossomed on Instagram and started from minor names like you wouldn't even know about to blossoming into these big businesses. You agree?
Yes. I think, we have learned to boss up. I think that there's an opportunity for us to be bigger than the brush, to come from behind the brush, stepping to our brand and our business, own our gifts, but also not being afraid to explore other talents that we have and letting the world know we have a voice, we're smart, we are articulate, we have a lot to say and a lot more to offer than just our artistry. And I think, the artistry being the core of our passion, but really thinking about ourselves in the bigger picture, it's the new day for that.
Yes, ma'am. So I knew just innately, just from flipping through my news feed, that if I wanted to find a MUA in any city, that I would go to Instagram, and that time frame when I met you, I was traveling from Detroit. I had a gig. I had something in LA, and then I had to do something here in Dallas. I think I shot for my website. And within a time frame of maybe 4 weeks, I needed 3 different moves in 3 different cities. And you know what? I got the best of the best. I mean, one, I got you in LA, which was awesome. But it was just amazing at how many folks in the beauty industry beyond MUAs were able to just connect really quickly, you know, just with an IG story that said, hey, I'm going to be in LA. Who do you recommend? And boom, the best of the best. Do you agree?
Right. I agree. I think, you know, hashtag LA makeup artist, hashtag Houston makeup artist, you know, those things work. And I always tell my mentees as well, make sure you're hashtagging your work as LA makeup artist, as New York makeup artist, because people are searching those hashtags to find you. And I've gotten a lot of opportunities through those kinds of searches. So if we, you know, we have to really be focused on like how we're positioning ourselves when we're not just posting a pretty picture, posting our work, but also finishing it up with the hashtagging and the tagging and all the things that we need to do so that we can be found.
Right. And you know what? I am amazed at how the internet has really blossomed, where your clientele has moved from not just celebs, but regular people like me who need these services. You agree?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think everyone is realizing the value of looking their best and showing up as their best selves. Nobody really wants to go on social media and take a picture where they're, you know, without makeup or without, you know, looking somewhat put together. I mean, every now and then you have that no makeup moment, you know, but that's very few and far between. I think regular people are realizing their own celebrity in themselves. I think they're also realizing the value, like I said, of just, you know, putting themselves together and stepping out in the world and shining. And it's not just celebrities doing that anymore. We, you know, regular people are doing it now too.
So you describe yourself as a beauty entrepreneur. I love that because it really embodies so much of where your career journey has taken you. And this is part of the conversation we had when you were doing my face and you were telling me how it all started for you. It wasn't all about makeup.
No, it wasn't all about makeup. You know, it was about business really initially, you know, graduating college and stepping right into the marketing world, landing in brand licensing for, you know, a major firm in New York. And then from there, working my way into product marketing and then advertising and then television. And then I finally ended it out with print, working for the Los Angeles Times, managing entertainment marketing for the LA Times. So my journey over that 14 years was about business, but I always moonlighted in beauty and glam and makeup. You know, my friends and family who knew that I loved it would always call on me to do it, you know, holidays, birthdays, weddings and things like that. But I never I never focused on it as a business at that time because, you know, I was not raised to believe that, you know, you should cultivate those things that are your passion. I thought that everything that you achieve is supposed to be hard. There's education behind it.
Yes.
You know, there's this heavy road to it. And really makeup, my attraction to beauty was effortless. And it wasn't until I started to become enlightened that I learned that, you know, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I had been working for 14 years. Now I'm living my dream through what I'm doing. And so there's a difference, but I don't knock my business back. I think it has a tremendous amount of value to where I am right now, but it wasn't, it wasn't all beauty.
Well, and you're taking parts that you've learned from marketing and branding, and you're applying it to your business now, wouldn't you say? Even though this is all about your passion.
Yes. No, I mean, it's about your passion. At the end of the day, this is the beauty business. This is not play. We're not out here to play, you know, and when you take your brand and your business seriously, all of those things are going to come into play. You know, it's no different from running any other business. What's your marketing strategy? Who are your competitors? You know, what's your competitive advantage? What sets you apart? What's your price point? All those things are what you know, matters in business, and in beauty, it's no different. And so I definitely took a lot of those learnings into the industry, and that's what allowed me to kind of do the coaching that I do and run the conferences
Right.
that I do. I have a conference called Beauty in the Business. And it was really, game changing, and in order to like bridging that gap between business and beauty, because creative professionals do not innately have those knowledge if they didn't go to college or grad school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you said something that really resonated with me. And I think we as Black Americans, and you have Jamaican roots, and you talk about your mom so dearly. And we'll talk about that too. But our parents didn't get to look for their passions in order to build businesses. I mean, some of our parents did, but it was rare, right? You're probably a teacher, an attorney, a doctor, or something else, work for the federal government, or you work for some company, you put your head down and you stayed there until you retired.
Yes.
And that's hard work, especially if you think about being somewhere for 20, 30 years and just doing the same thing. This is fairly new, and I think this is why people call it a Black Renaissance, because suddenly we have been enlightened, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I don't just have to take a check from somebody.
Right.
If I have a dream and I have superpowers, why don't I put that together? Would you agree?
No, I completely agree. No, my mom, she raised 7 children, and I think she's still trying to figure out like what her passion, really, really, truly is, because it was never, ingrained in her to cultivate. And quite frankly, it wasn't like she told me to do that same thing too. My enlightenment came from Deepak Chopra and Oprah and Jan Levenzet and all the people who, gave those mantras and really helped me to kind of focus on my spirituality. And when I cultivated that and got really clear about who I am, that's when I had the courage to step out and go after what it is that makes my heart sing. Even after spending $126,000 on a BA and an MBA, I was still willing to say, you know what, I'm okay with this pivot. I'm okay with taking this risk and moving in this direction. And I'm not going to be bound to what, society or people think that I should do, because everyone thought I was crazy when I was deciding to walk away from corporate America. They're like, oh, you got this 6-figure income. You have this great lifestyle. You're driving a fancy car. Yeah. You're young. You're in your 30s. You travel around the world. Like, what are you doing? And so they didn't get it, but now they do.
Yeah. And you know what? I just walked away from my corporate job.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. This is my second foray. I ran an agency for about 10 years before I even stepped foot into corporate. I was with agencies before then. But it's interesting because I call myself an extrapreneur, because I actually started building this business before I left corporate. And so there was a good number of people that understood when I, turned down some opportunities to stay. And I didn't go for the typical whatever that might be out there. And they were like, but you know what? I see something in you that I don't see in other people. And I think you're going to be okay. And I was like, you better believe it. This is what's in me. And it goes back to what you said about knowing yourself. Yes. And I think sometimes we skip that hard work to understand who we are. And that's really embedded in our personal journeys. Not just the professional, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've been taught to master everything else, to be very knowledgeable about industry, about now social media, about businesses and brands and everything else. But how often is someone encouraging you to master yourself? Yes. And often there are times when we fail, or if we fear, it's because we haven't mastered ourselves. See, the ones that let fear be their fuel are the ones that have mastered themselves. The ones who let fear deter them are the ones that have not mastered themselves. And so it is required that that self-mastery is a part of our daily life going forward. It's required.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It absolutely is. How can you be your most authentic self if you do not know who you are.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we can't do our best work
No.
if we can't be authentic and be ourselves.
Right. Which is why we tend to then compare and contrast ourselves with other people. And comparison, is absolutely a road to your confidence killer. It is a confidence killer, right? Mm-hmm. So I think social media gives you that lens into people's lives every day, and you're scrolling. You're like envying and you're comparing and you're, and then you're looking at your own situation and you're not loving where you are, and then you lose, hope and courage. And I talk to entrepreneurs all the time in this industry about that, because they're looking at like, wow, she has this client, or she just got booked to do this, live makeup segment on this show, or she speaks to these magazines, and they're like, why isn't anything happening for me? And so it's not happening for you because you're spending too much time on social media looking at somebody else's life.
Looking at everyone else. Right.
Yeah. Take a detox moment, pull open that pen and pad or your iPad, whatever you can, put down, what are your goals? What do you want to accomplish?
Right.
Because that person that's doing those things, guaranteed, took the time to figure out the path that they want to take. And you are not doing that. You're just spending your time comparing and contrasting. And that's a waste of time.
Right. And God made us all different. So your journey is not going to be somebody else's journey.
Not at all.
So you need to figure out what that is. What are your passions? What are your superpowers? And what is your story? And that is the very formula for your success, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I figured out early what was going to set me apart. When I left corporate America in 2012 and moving into the beauty industry in Los Angeles, California, the second largest city in the world, where television and film is large, where people have been working in this industry for decades. Particularly people that look like me have been grinding and building their business and building a name for themselves. And so here I am, this, former corporate executive, marketing executive, stepping into the beauty industry. Like, who does she think she is? Like, where did she come from? And so I experienced, some of that, like, side-eyeing. But I did not let that affect me. I knew that this was, I had a place here. And quite frankly, I went to beauty school in high school at the age of 14. So I'm not new to this, but I'm new to the celebrity world and the TV world.
Right.
But I was, I prepared myself to be here. So I didn't let some of those side eyes deter me. But I think it was important for me to say, okay, what is my point of view? What's setting me apart? How does my work set myself apart? How does my moves set me apart? And those things, again, require not just, happenstance. I really strategically sat down and to your point, created a formula.
So let's talk about your projects. You've got a lot going on. First and foremost, that beautiful book.
Yes. Face Your Beauty. Oh my God. I'm so excited about this. Yeah. The title came to me 4 years ago in the middle of the night. And I was like, okay, God, what is this? But it wasn't the time yet, because I was having a hard time thinking contextually about where do I go with this big title, Face Your Beauty. What do I do with this? I didn't want to just do another makeover book. There's plenty of those. Sam Fine wrote an amazing one. Scott Barnes wrote an amazing one. There are lots of great makeover books out there. And I had to figure out, like, what was my point of view. Again, I'm always looking at how am I different? I don't want to be like anybody else. And so I think naturally people think that I was going to come with a book that was specifically talking about beauty. But the conversations in the book are really not so beautiful, right? So I'm really talking about the subtitle of the book is transforming your pain into your purpose. And I focused on that pain point because I think pain is one of those things that we carry internally. And it was never something that I could cover up as an artist. I could never cover up what's inside of you. Healing has to happen for you. And so when I was meeting a lot of clients that, like you and I had a connection, we had those candid conversations. Some of my conversations with my clients were dark, because of their experiences. And so it affected how they saw themselves. It affected, the process of the makeup, because they had some concerns about scarring from domestic violence. They were concerned about, you have beautiful, big lips, and look at you. You're highlighting you're like, I'm going to put on a bold color. to be honest with you, there are a lot of women who have those beautiful lips who do not want to wear bold colors because they don't want the attention. So those, someone in their life told them that something was wrong with their lips. Something was wrong with their eyes. Something was wrong with their body. Something was wrong. So you get all these things that are coming, and these pain points live with you, and they affect how you see yourself. And so I wanted to talk about those things. But sadly, a lot of those conversations came from the undertone of abuse. And emotional abuse, psychological abuse, sometimes physical abuse, and so it's a compilation of stories. I include I include 7 people in the book and 1 male, and these are real stories of overcoming and triumphing over some of those not so glamorous and beautiful experiences of interpersonal and toxic relationships that changed who they are, but then they're able to take their power back as a result. And that's the idea of facing your beauty, coming back to the essence of who you are in spite of the things that you've gone through. And it is possible. So we want to inspire hope. We want to empower those through our stories to realize that they're not alone, and also continue the conversation about healing.
I love that. I can't wait to read it, Melissa. And I think that there are people out there that will be blessed by your book. That is awesome. Is it on shelves now? Where can people get it?
Yeah, so it's pre-ordered now. It's going to be released early summer, which means the top of May, June, that time frame. But yeah, so we're pre-ordering right now. Pre-orders have been coming in very nicely. And so I'm sending out, photo cards with the pre-orders. And then all pre-orders come with an autographed copy of the book.
Awesome. So we're going to your website. Where are
we
going?
So melissahibbert.com. There's a link directly to my publisher's page where you can pre-order the book. And then once it's released, it'll be available wherever books. Once it's released, it'll be available wherever books are sold.
Wonderful. So you have some other projects going too. You mentioned your conference. Tell us about that.
Well, yeah, for the last few years, I've been doing a Beauty in the Business conference. And then again, as I mentioned, it was my ability to sort of bring my business background to the beauty industry and bringing professionals, social media experts, lawyers, accountants, marketing, graphic designers. These are professionals who offer services to entrepreneurs. And so I bring those two things together. And I haven't done the conference in a couple of years, and I actually transformed the conference into a curriculum where I've been teaching at some certain beauty schools as well. So I'm working on bringing that conference back. I'm actually going to Portland next week. Portland is my hometown, and I'm going to be doing it there as well. So I'm going to be ramping up a little bit more, but most of my activity once summer comes is really going to be surrounding the book.
Awesome. Well, let me know how I can support you. I would love to support you in that. Let's see what else. What else do you have cooking?
Oh,
You're speaking more.
Yeah, I'm speaking
Tell
more.
Us about that.
My dream is to be a world-class transformational speaker. And possibly I think I'm being called to do, some life coaching as a result,
I love it. Yeah.
And, I'm just really passionate about connecting with people and helping people. And I think I'm just a person that was born to be of service. I think my artistry allows me to be of service, but even in those moments, I find myself having those deep conversations that someone would have with a psychiatrist, having those deep conversations that someone would have, with a life coach or someone that can help them navigate their thoughts and their emotions. So I really want to continue to cultivate that. I am being coached under Lisa Nichols right now.
Oh, good. She's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just excited about putting everything into that direction. And it's about investing in yourself. So anyone who's out there who has something that you want to do, you have to invest in yourself. So I signed up for the course, and no one wants to continue. You're like, oh God, spending more money. But it really, truly is about how serious you need and how bad do you want it, and what are you willing to put behind it. So I've got that going. So I've lined up several speaking engagements as well, continuing to build my business on my agency, the Glam Agency. getting more production for, and employing more beauty professionals to work on TV shows and films and weddings and so on and so forth, so that they can make a living doing what they love. Yeah, they need to make a living doing what you love, and I've been able to do it, and I want other people to do it as well. And there will be a documentary as a result of the book as well. I feel like, we want to continue. We want to continue to have sort of build a bigger platform on this conversation around transformation.
So what's the call to action you want to leave with people? It sounds like you want to just pour into people. And I love that about you. How can people get in contact with you, whether they're makeup artists that are interested, maybe there's some type of beauty entrepreneur that may be interested in the glam agency or what? It sounds like you're gathering a tribe.
Yeah, I'm gathering a tribe of people who want to thrive. If you want to thrive, then you can be a part of my tribe, right? Because I want people who, I like that. I want to surround myself with people who have the energy of moving forward. I want to surround myself with people who have the desire to be their best. I want to be around people who have excellence as a part of their brand. And if that's not you, then you can't rock with me, because I do require that, right? And so if you're not there yet, though, I help you to get there. So that's a part of my coaching, where I go and I look at what you're doing, and I say, okay, here's the things that you can do to be better. If you're not where you want to be, let me help you to be where you want to be. And through the book, I hope to empower and inspire people to get beyond the things that have held them down and focus on like where they can go. And sometimes you may feel trapped in your story. And those stories really keep us from our glory, keeps us from where we're supposed to be. And we were born to be great. We were born to live in our purpose. But oftentimes we do end up in situations that completely take the wind out of us, completely allows us to lose our self-worth and our self-value. And that's what Face Your Beauty is about. Like, I want you to look at yourself and reclaim and even establish the power that you were born with and that you have. And so, that's excellent. Yeah, that's overall.
Oh my goodness. You know what, Melissa? You just inspire me. Oh. And I know somebody out there listening is inspired as well. Tell us where we can follow you on social media.
Yeah, so everything is at Melissa Hibbert. MelissaHibbert. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's LinkedIn. My website is melissahibbert.com, and Facebook is at Melissa Hibbert as well. So yeah, you can follow me there. I'm very good at responding. I'm not one of those people like, get in touch with my people, and there are times where that has to happen because there may be like a bigger conversation and I need to plan some things out. But I'm one of those people that really likes to connect with others, and a lot of people are surprised, like, oh, you called me back? Oh, you responded? Because sometimes we get too booked and busy where we just is like, I'll respond later. And I just, I tried my best to get back to, because I know what it was like when I needed and I was seeking, and I just want to be different. I want to be a part of the solution and all things.
Yes. Awesome. Everybody, Melissa Hibbert, you know what? You just blessed me today. Oh, I appreciate you, and I'm sure somebody heard something that inspired them, and we'll be looking forward to the book when it drops.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate all of your support and your love and your smile.
Absolutely. Yes. All right. That was an outstanding conversation, inspiring with Melissa Hibbert, beauty entrepreneur. And if you're ever in LA and you need someone to make your face look like the angels, call Melissa. All right, then. We got some dates coming up. April 30th, I'll be choosing the 10 people that will be a part of the 2019 summer cohorts. Did you get your application in? You might want to do that very, very soon. We're going to start up in May. Also, coming up next week, we have Ramon Ray. You'll know him as the small business expert from Smart Hustle magazine. He also is a speaker and an author of a brand new book, The Celebrity CEO. You won't want to miss him next week. Find us online at theculturesoup.com. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at The Culture Soup. And until next time, see you next week. The Culture Soup Podcast is a production of No Silos Communication.